Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to sit back and close your eyes and imagine a world where you play Marvel Future Fight, but there are no epic quests. That's right. I want you to erase the Fantastic Four epic quest, erase the Deadpool X-Force epic quest, erase the Might of the X-Men epic quest, as hard as that may be, and then I want you to bring yourselves to the Sorcerer Supreme epic quest. Except this time, they already used the deluxe pack. Today, guys, if you haven't already guessed, I am super excited to bring you a fan concept that I have. I want to call it a fan concept because that's exactly what it is. It's not real. Guys, this is not a teaser for an upcoming update because I don't work for Netmarble, but Netmarble, if you want to take this idea just at the beginning, I relinquish all intellectual property associated with what I'm about to say, and you can absolutely copy me word for word. But really, think about it. How amazing would it be if we had an Epic Quest Deluxe Pack type situation and structure for the Sorcerer Supreme Epic Quest? Because to date, of course, it's the only Epic Quest that doesn't have that last part over there. It doesn't have that native Tier 2 villain or hero, in Jean Grey's case, that you unlock by having other characters at Tier 2. It doesn't have that deluxe mission like Magneto, like Psylocke, and like Invisible Woman. There is no special mission that gives away more gold, that gives away extra bios, that gives away extra goodies. But what if there was? And this is exactly what I want to talk about today. I love the Doctor Strange Epic Quest. It made me fall in love with the game at a time where I wasn't really so sure if I was in love with the game still. I mean, Shadowland helped too when it came out, but the Doctor Strange Epic Quest was so fantastic, and they've just gotten better with time. But it would be really awesome if we had an update that just focused on all of these characters with a couple extra and really pumped some new life into this Epic Quest. It's obviously something that's easy to sell from the Netmarble business point of view, from the things I'm going to describe, and I think the vast majority of players would absolutely love it. Because it's got something for everyone. So step right into my shop of imagination, put on your thinking caps, and let's do this thing. So the actual Doctor Strange Epic Quest doesn't need any sort of changing. I think it's a good quest in terms of the flow, in terms of the difficulty, in terms of how many roadblocks there are. You know, do 3 villain siege missions, and then a few quests later do another 3, and so that stops you, so you can't complete it in less than a few days. And I think the research missions are fine as well. I mean, it is one of the cheaper epic quests in general, but that's still okay. Because, you know, the characters themselves aren't nearly as strong in the meta as some of the other characters. They're not as meta-breaking in general, besides the Doctor himself with his skill cooldown, 5th skill. And so because of that, you really only have to look at the latter part that's missing from the Epic Quest, and that would be the Deluxe Pack character. So no work needs to be done to the existing framework of the Epic Quest, but introducing a deluxe character like Brother Voodoo would be absolutely insane. It would be so magical to have that character in Marvel Future Fight. I would love it. Marvel Contest of Champions already has him, and I think he's a perfect match to Doctor Strange. You know, if you look at the Epic Quest characters, they're usually friends of, or possibly, I mean, you have a range, but I mean, in this case, Magneto and Wolverine are kind of mortal enemies who have sometimes sided. Deadpool and Psylocke are, kind of friends, and then of course Reed and Sue are husband and wife, so it kind of runs from opposite ends of the spectrum. And so there's a pretty loose connection between Brother Voodoo and Doctor Strange. It's not nearly as strong as, you know, Sue and Reed, but it's still there in sort of a Psylocke Doctor or Deadpool sort of way, and he would be a fantastic character. He would be another Blast character because all Epic Quest characters who are Deluxe Mission have to be Blast. I mean, if you think about it, Invisible Woman, Psylocke, and Magneto are all Blast types, so it would work again to have Brother Voodoo as a Blast type. Because it would cost 6,600 crystals, you would have to include all of the Deluxe Mission rewards, so that would be, you know, the 1,500 crystal refund, extra gold, gear up kits, extra bios for Brother Voodoo, etc. But that's not where we want to stop, because just having that is not really enough. So with that, you also want to encourage players to build up the rest of the Doctor Strange characters, because we are leading up to a native Tier 2 unlockable character for the Doctor Strange Epic Quest in this fan theory. So they would have to release new uniforms, and this is another place where Netmarble can make a lot of money, and they can also please the fans. I told you there was something for everyone. How about uniform reworks for all of the bad Doctor Strange characters, all of the weak and underused Doctor Strange characters? So I'm talking new uniform for Dormammu with a rework that really pushes him to the kind of upper levels of the native Tier 2 villain bracket to compete with characters like Strife, to compete with characters like Thanos. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. I've got plenty more suggestions where that came from. You like that? How about a rework for Ancient One? We can go back to the male kind of classic route of the character and not the movie one, but we can give them a new uniform that gives them buffs and reworks to make the character stronger and not just a healing buff slash leadership character. Not only that, Caecilius, we can go ahead and give him his first uniform that's also full of some reworks and buffs. More importantly, one of the biggies is Baron Mordo. Baron Mordo is one of the most controversial uniforms in the game because a lot of people see it as a downgrade. Now, I don't think it's a downgrade, but it does take away Baron Mordo's most important role, and that is as Doctor Strange's adversary. He is the yin to Doctor Strange's yang. He is the antithesis. He hates magic. He hates the power that Doctor Strange has. He doesn't want Doctor Strange to have the power that he has. And so you have to bring him back to his classic comic roots. There are so many other looks that Baron Mordo has taken that are still, from the comics and that still feature him as a villain, so we can bring him back either as a speed villain or as a blast villain. It doesn't matter, but I think it would be a huge thing to majorly buff and bump up Baron Mordo's damage and survivability to put him more in line and in a more competitive standpoint compared to Doctor Strange, because let's be real, there's no way he's competing with Doctor Strange as it is. So he definitely needs the biggest buff out of this. But we're not done yet, because of course Doctor Strange's kind of apprentice, his sort of helper at the monastery and stuff like that, it has to be Wong. He has to get a uniform. He has to go back to his comic roots. None of these are really looking too comic booky. And he needs a rework to make him better, to make him functional. But that's not all. We've got a lot more Doctor Strange type characters. We need Hellstorm. We need that sort of suit uniform that he has, the Damien uniform, and he needs to get as well a buff. But of course, if you give it to the brother, you got to give it to the sister. Satana also needs a buff. Not as much of a buff, not as much of a rework, more of just a buff, but having a new uniform for her to go along with Hellstorm and the others. And then of course, you cannot leave out Clea. Clea also would get her first uniform, also would get buffs, and also would get some reworks to her existing skill set. So with that, you're able to sell. Netmarble is able to pitch us 8 new uniforms. You got Mordo, Dormammu, Wong, Hellstorm, Ancient One, Clea, Satana, and Caecilius. That's 8 new uniforms. That's like 9,000 crystals worth of uniforms that they can sell to rework all of those characters, to make them all kind of fringe meta to meta characters, make them usable, make them functional, and then give us that incentive to tier 2 them all. Because what's going to happen when you now tier 2 all 9 of these Doctor Strange Epic Quest characters? You finish the Doctor Strange Epic Quest, you get him to 6 stars. Of course, he's already tier 2 because he's native tier 2. You get Brother Voodoo to tier 2. He's a tier 1 character like Invisible Woman, but you manage to tier 2 him by playing his deluxe mission pack and getting his biometrics or using a tier 2 ticket or whatever. You tier 2 Wong, Mordo, Hellstorm, Satana, Clea, Ancient One, Caecilius. You tier 2 9 different characters. And who do you unlock? Shumagarath. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Rise of Heroes. Who? Giving me chills. I used to play that arcade game in middle school. Hell yeah. I want to take you for a ride. How epic would that be? The universal chaos, tentacle, one-eyed Shumagarath making his way into Marvel Future Fight would be outstanding. I know that would be a big hit for longtime comic book fans. He's one of the strongest Doctor Strange villains out there. And I also have other suggestions in case you don't like Shumagarath. We could also go with Mephisto. He's another huge Doctor Strange villain who has roots in the Marvel Universe and is already in existing Marvel titles like Marvel Contest of Champions. Or we could also go with someone like Nightmare, who is a little bit lesser known than the first two, but also a very potent, very powerful, universal type, immortal Doctor Strange villain in the vein of someone like Dormammu. How insane, how amazing is this fan concept? Tell me you're not hyped to go and replay the Doctor Strange Epic Quest if you could, to unlock all of these characters and do this all over again. I would absolutely start from scratch if it included all of the stuff that I just mentioned and more. And the beautiful thing about it is they could even just take parts of this and apply it. Now, honestly, if we were gonna turn back the hands of time and turn back the clock, I would have originally made Dormammu, instead of being a quest pack ruler of the dark dimension unlockable character. I think Netmarble, in the back of their minds, they know they made a little mistake. They should have made Dormammu the native tier 2 to unlock with the Doctor Strange Epic Quest after you tier 2 all 5 of these characters: Doctor Strange, Caecilius, Mordo, Ancient One, and Wong. But now that we have so many other epic quests that they can learn from, they can go back, they can update an existing game mode, i.e. this epic quest, make it even more epic, make it in line with the existing quests. They could sell, you know, over 10,000 crystals worth of content that's actually good content. You got characters, you got a new stage, a new Brother Voodoo stage mission, and then you've got uniforms which rework and rebalance almost 10 existing characters, which is huge. That's on the scale of Infinity War. Imagine how much goodwill and good faith that's going to build with the community, because I know there's tons of people out there who want to play as Baron Mordo or Caecilius or Clea, but they just can't because they suck. So let me know what you guys think of this fan concept. This is one of my favorites, and it features some of my favorite characters in the comic book history, of course, Doctor Strange, and it features one of my favorite aspects of this game, and I think it's something that Netmarble should take seriously, because this is something that makes this game so unique. These epic quests that you go on, these long journeys. I mean, in my case, it's like 3 days, but for a lot of players, it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And having more content, having more stages, having more characters, having more interconnectedness, and then having that reason, that drive. I want to tier 2 all these characters because I really want to unlock this other character. Having that kind of structure and having that pyramid is really important, and it'll breathe so much new life into these existing characters. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you are hyped and how hyped you are for it. Join the Discord, subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.